Hey everyone, it's Richard Payne here from Halifax Homes Lifestyle and Keller Williams Select Realty. And we are in the month starting in June, which means we have finished May and we really want to have a check out of those stats and see what's gone on in the month of May. So stay tuned, all the details are coming up. So looking at the May numbers, it's pretty much good news like across the board. We start off with the fact that we only have 4 months of inventory on the market right now, which is down from 4.6. So we improved a little bit more, and that's coming really from the fact that on the 620 houses that were sold, that's up 24% on the houses that were sold in April, but the amount of homes on the market at 2,400 homes stayed a little bit of increase, but not too much, because we listed 946 homes, which meant that we had a 66% sale to new listing ratio. Now that's not that if you list 3 homes, 2 of them are going to sell. It's of all the homes that are available, 2 out of 3 were selling. It's not that the new ones came on the market that were selling, although that did happen quite a bit. So when we look at the days on market, 63, a little bit better than last month, but pretty much the same. Selling price just under $331,000, which is up 1.2% on May last year. And list to sell ratio at 97.5%, more or less stayed the same all the way through. But the key thing is, let's go back to that months of inventory, because that tells us how the market's performing. And 4 is absolutely a strong seller's market, and that's definitely for some of my clients what we're starting to feel from a buying point of view is some of the strategies and the tactics and what we used to be able to kind of request, negotiate, work through a deal with clients before doesn't seem to work anymore, and the sellers are certainly feeling a lot more strong in their outlook on the market and what they've actually got going on with the amount of viewings, and then you send in the offer, and it basically goes through the negotiation. And sale of buyer's property is definitely not a condition that seems to be working right now, because that's what happens when sellers have a lot of power, is they don't want buyers to basically be able to sell their house. They want a clean offer. So we'll cover that later on anyway in another video, because it's certainly a really interesting point that has started showing up now. So when we look at the hotter markets, we have 2 markets that were top tied at 52 sales each, which was Bedford and Sackville. 2 very different markets. One is kind of the trade-up trophy home. The other one is the starter area, which is Sackville. But Sackville was 3.6 months on market. Bedford was 4.3. Different price points as well, but Bedford in particular, we're not seeing high prices anymore, because I think a lot of those new builds have kind of worked themselves out of the market a little bit, so they're waiting for newer properties to come on and therefore get sold at the higher price. So the average price point in Bedford, $385,000. Yeah, it's up there, but it's not as much as we've seen in the past, where it's been $480,000 to $500,000. New builds basically is what was controlling that. So then we look at tying for 3rd place. It's then Timberley Prospects, Margaret's Bay area, and Kingswood Hammonds Plains. So it's good to see that Kingswood Hammonds Plains has come back on the market, because that's been kind of slow, but it is a very popular market with a lot of people. So houses there are now starting to sell. They've only got 4 months of market, 4 months of inventory on the market, and a $391,000 average price, which actually therefore is higher than the Bedford market price. Timberley, a little bit lower. It's kind of in that trade-up area at $285,000. And because that includes St Margaret's Bay and it includes Prospect, you can get some pretty low prices around there. So that's the news of what's going on in the stat. It's basically great news. If you're sitting there and your house is selling, then so long as the right marketing strategy and the right price you've got on the property, then you should definitely be seeing some really good action. And that's kind of the key thing that we work with a lot of our clients, is you've got to have the right market strategy. It's not always about the price. It's about making sure that the price and the strategy come together. Now, if you've got any questions about the strategy that we use and how we get our properties sold, we'd love to get in touch and have a contact with you, conversation. So all the numbers are coming up. You know how to get a hold of me. Let's see if we can basically get you to be one of these sold numbers, because it's moving pretty quick.